It was July 3rd, 2026. Rain was falling over Manhattan, and inside one of the most famous buildings in the world, something historic was about to happen. No cameras allowed, no phones allowed, just 1,000 people sworn to secrecy, waiting for two of the most famous people on the planet to say "I do." This is the inside story of Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding. Who made the cut? Who got left out in the cold, and the surprises nobody saw coming? Let's rewind for a second. Back in August of 2025, Taylor and Travis announced their engagement with a single photo. The caption was simple, almost a joke between two people who'd found each other. Something about an English teacher and a gym teacher tying the knot. It got over 37 million likes in a flash. The internet basically stopped working for a day. But here's the thing about a wedding this big. Once the ring goes on, the real drama begins. Not between the couple, between everyone else. Because when you're arguably the most famous woman in music and one of the most recognized athletes in football, your wedding isn't just a party. It's an event. And with an event like that comes a guest list so complicated, it could make a wedding planner cry. Taylor actually gave fans a hint months before the big day. Back in October of 2025, sitting on a couch on a British talk show, she said something that would end up defining the entire guest list strategy. She admitted that the stressful weddings are always the small ones, the ones where you're forced to sit there and agonize over every single name, wondering if someone's going to be offended if they don't make the cut. She said she simply wasn't going to do that, and she meant it. When the big day finally arrived, the guest list had ballooned past 1,000 names. Some reports say it crept even higher, past 1,100. Picture that for a second. That's not a wedding. That's basically a small stadium of people, all crammed with love and secrets inside one building. And what a building. Not a countryside chapel. Not a beach in Italy. Madison Square Garden. The same arena where Taylor had performed 8 times over the course of her career. The place practically owed her a wedding at this point. Getting inside wasn't easy either. Every single guest had to sign a non-disclosure agreement before they even stepped through the doors. Phones were reportedly banned. No sneaky selfies. No leaked videos. For days, nobody could even confirm who was invited, let alone who was actually there. It was one of the most locked down celebrity events in recent memory. Imagine trying to keep a secret that big with 1,000 different people holding a piece of it. Then, on the night of July 3rd, the secret finally broke. Not through a leak, not through a paparazzi photo, through a marquee. A digital sign outside Madison Square Garden lit up just after 7:30 in the evening, glowing pink against the New York night. It read, "Justin T. married," a quiet nod to their initials. No press release yet, no official statement, just a giant sign glowing in the rain, telling the entire world that it had happened. Inside, the transformation was almost impossible to believe. This is an arena that hosts basketball games and boxing matches and hockey. But for one night, a portion of it had been turned into something else entirely. Guests described walking into what felt like an outdoor garden, tucked into the middle of the city, draped in green and white, with real flowers mixed with artificial ones. Rows of chairs, an intimate ceremony space carved out of a building built for thousands. People who were there said it should have felt massive, considering there were about 1,000 guests. But somehow it felt small, personal, close. Taylor and Travis chose not to have a traditional wedding party. No long lineup of bridesmaids, no groomsmen in matching suits. Instead, Taylor's brother Austin stood beside her as her man of honor, and Travis's older brother, Jason Kelce, stood as his best man. Their parents were there too, Travis's mom and dad, Donna and Ed, along with Taylor's parents, Andrea and Scott. Donna Kelce later called the whole thing magical, and Taylor's aunt, who was also in the crowd, described watching the couple cry, laugh, dance, hug, and kiss their way through the entire night. And who officiated this whole thing? None other than Adam Sandler. Yes, that Adam Sandler, a longtime friend of the couple who had actually given Travis a cameo in one of his movies the year before. Guests say he didn't just read the vows. He reportedly sang an original song for the newlyweds, blending comedy and heart in a way only he really can. The couple wrote their own vows, tucked away in small books they read from during the ceremony. And here's a detail that caught a lot of people off guard. You'd think the bride would be the emotional one on a night like this, but according to guests in the room, it was actually Travis who couldn't hold back the tears. Taylor, on the other hand, reportedly wove a bit of singing right into her vows. Now let's talk fashion, because this was Dior from head to toe. Taylor's dress was designed by Jonathan Anderson, the creative director of Christian Dior's couture line. He called it his first couture wedding dress ever made for a globally recognized celebrity. Travis matched her in his own custom Dior look. Their shoes were handmade by Christian Louboutin. Taylor's jewelry came from Cartier. Every detail, stitched and sculpted specifically for this one night. After the ceremony came the party, and this is where things got even more surreal. Two legendary musicians took the stage as surprise performers. Stevie Nicks delivered what one attendee described as an intimate personal concert, despite performing inside an arena that seats 20,000 people. And then, somehow topping that, Paul McCartney also performed. A literal Beatle, playing at Taylor Swift's wedding reception. The food came from the couple's favorite restaurants across New York City. There were games set up for guests to play throughout the night. And in one especially fun touch, there was a raffle featuring the exact same model of car that Taylor and Travis had ridden in on their very first date. Guests also walked away with a keepsake, an ivory handkerchief, embroidered with the couple's initials and a line borrowed from one of Taylor's own songs, a lyric about forever, stitched right there in lace alongside the wedding date. So who actually got to witness all of this in person? Basically, a highlight reel of Hollywood, the music industry, and the NFL, all standing in the same room. Selena Gomez was there, glowing in gold, the same shade Taylor wore to Selena's own wedding the year before. Gigi Hadid showed up. So did Blake Lively, the Haim sisters, Ed Sheeran, Jack Antonoff, Bradley Cooper, Zoe Kravitz, Dakota Johnson, Hugh Grant, Sacha Baron Cohen. Even Tom Hanks and Steven Spielberg reportedly slipped in through quieter entrances, trying to avoid the chaos out front. From the sports world, it was basically a Chiefs reunion. Patrick Mahomes and his wife Brittany were there celebrating their teammate and friend. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell made an appearance. Even Tom Brady showed up, although reports say he left the party early. One especially interesting name on the list was Karlie Kloss. For years, fans had speculated about tension between her and Taylor, but her presence at the wedding quietly put those rumors to rest. On the flip side, one notable absence raised eyebrows. Taylor's longtime friend and collaborator, the woman behind the song Lavender Haze, showed up without her fiancé. He happened to be performing a concert of his own in London that same night, so he couldn't make it. But not every headline coming out of this wedding was about who showed up. Some of the juiciest stories were about who didn't. Take Tiffany Haddish. Weeks after the wedding, she was guest hosting a late-night show, and she opened up about something that clearly stung a little. She and Taylor actually share history. They were on Saturday Night Live together back in 2017, and Tiffany even made a cameo appearance during one of Taylor's massive stadium tours. Despite that connection, her name wasn't on the guest list. She talked about it candidly, sounding more surprised than bitter, but it was a snub that definitely made headlines. Then there was Charles Barkley. The basketball legend actually admitted on his own show that he did receive an invitation, but he turned it down. His reasoning was refreshingly honest. He said he generally avoids weddings and funerals altogether, and he worried this particular wedding might turn into an overwhelming spectacle rather than a relaxed celebration. He made it clear there were no hard feelings. He said he only met Taylor once, but he respects Travis and his brother Jason, and he genuinely appreciated getting the invite. He just would rather be out playing golf. Even musician James Taylor, the man Taylor Swift was actually named after by her parents, revealed he had turned down an invitation to the very same Madison Square Garden wedding, choosing instead to keep his own scheduled performance elsewhere that week. And then there's the story involving the Kansas City Chiefs locker room. Nearly the entire Chiefs roster made the guest list, teammates, coaches, front office staff. But one name was reportedly missing: kicker Harrison Butker. His absence wasn't random. The year before, he'd made national headlines for a controversial commencement speech about a woman's place in the world, a speech that sparked plenty of backlash. Whether that controversy directly influenced his exclusion from the wedding was never officially confirmed. But the timing and the optics were impossible to ignore. Two more players, Will Compton and Taylor Lewan, also publicly called out Travis for not inviting them. Speaking on their own podcast, Compton admitted he was genuinely stunned to be left off the list. Lewan, sounding half joking and half serious, pointed out that he and Travis had been close friends for over a decade, texting and calling regularly, and couldn't understand. Of course, not everyone who missed the guest list was upset about it. Some, like Barkley, simply weren't interested. Others were just victims of an impossible math problem. How do you fairly choose 1,000 names out of a lifetime of relationships, friendships, and connections without leaving somebody feeling forgotten? In the days that followed, guests slowly started sharing their impressions online. Sportscaster Rich Eisen posted that the word storybook didn't even come close to capturing what he witnessed. Actress Niecy Nash summed the whole night up in one enthusiastic word, saying it was simply unforgettable from start to finish. And maybe that's the real story here. Not just the dress, or the guest list, or the snubs. It's the fact that two of the most watched people on Earth managed to pull off something that felt, according to almost everyone in that room, deeply personal. A private, emotional, human moment, somehow tucked safely inside one of the most public spectacles pop culture has ever seen. So while the internet spent days arguing over who got invited and who didn't, somewhere inside Madison Square Garden, two people just got married. Vows were read from little books. Tears were shed, mostly by the groom. And a marquee outside lit up with 4 simple words that said everything anyone really needed to know. Justin T. married.